Okay, whatever, Rabbi Sachar, he just started recording. Give me 1 second. The truth is, it was very, not hard, but it's a very interesting day today. It's Erev Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, Tav Shin Pei Hey. Tav Shin Pei Hey. And you tzaddikim and tzadkaniyot came because you want to listen to Torah. You're so devoted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you came to listen to Torah. And even though we didn't want to record the shiur, but Mr. Aronbayev said, spiritual passive income. I like it. Spiritual passive income. How can you let it go? So we have to record it. But today we're going to go a little commando. And hopefully we'll talk about other topics as we go. So you asked a question. What was the question? Someone asked something.
You asked a question.
So,
what is
my friend he said, I think it's kind of on topic. He's like, why would you marry? He's like, I could only marry Bukhari. Why? He's like, Bukhari woman, she'll never let her husband do the dishes or something like that. I know it's probably not in every family, but
it's not in
that's what the topic was.
It's not in any family.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. Let me explain. We need to clarify something. Unfortunately, most people won't like to listen, maybe because ego or years of experience, age, and so on and so forth. Marriage it's not set in stone. It's not one set book for everybody. Every family, every couple, every situation has to be said and taught out separately. But there are certain priorities and certain responsibilities that everyone has. They're called klalim. They are rules, right? One of these rules is that the woman is the akeret habayit. She's in charge of the house. And the husband oversees all that. What does that mean? That means there's a micromanage and then there's a macromanage. The woman is usually the micromanage and the husband is the macromanage. With saying all that, there still needs to be a mutual respect, right? The general, if he doesn't have a certain respect for his colonels, then there's going to be a civil war. So too in a marriage, so too in a life, so too between a couple, so too when you're dating. The woman has to understand she is responsible for the house. Now, I'm not old-fashioned. I'm talking about normality, humanity. If it's cooking, if it's cleaning, if it's taking care of the kids, all these things. And usually the husband does all the outside and other thing works. Now, what do we do that women also work nowadays? And they contribute a lot because there needs to be a sense of contributing. Especially if you live in New York where the bills are off the charts. Then there's delegation. Husband gets involved. Now, when the husband gets involved, it doesn't make it his responsibility. This is where everyone gets it wrong. It's not a sense of his responsibility. He's helping. I'll give you an example. A woman can't be upset that a man didn't do a certain chore in the house because officially and initially it's not his lane. It's really not. But a smart husband should contribute out of his own wanting. That's the difference. You know what's the issue? I'll tell you what the issue is. The issue is when the woman gets used to a certain thing, and then it becomes what? Normal. It becomes a habit. Oh, you didn't do this. That's why there needs to be a respect in the house, and always positive reinforcement. Why? Because let's say he does do something good, and you give him a compliment. Or it's like training an animal. It's not a joke, it's true. Teva, it's nature, it's human nature. Automatically he'll do it again. And if he doesn't do it again, you let it go. until you need help and you ask again. The problem is people forgot how to talk. People forgot how to communicate. People forgot how to associate. And people forgot. It's something that's been forgotten. We don't know how to talk normally to our spouses and to our couples. So we think, oh, we have to be certain aggressive or something. No. Should a man be able to do everything? My ideology is a man should know how to cook, clean, wash dishes, sew. He should know how to do everything. Doesn't mean that he should do everything. That's the difference. You understand? So too to a woman. A woman should know how to do. I'm a very big believer a woman should work. A huge believer. Huge. To the ultimate level. A woman that doesn't work, I think, is off her rockers. Every woman should work. It's healthy for them. People don't know this. It gives them a social life. It gives them finances. It helps them be able to communicate and associate. Of course, there needs to be a certain hashkafa of where and what and who's the crowd. That's already between the husband and wife or between the rabbi that's involved. But it's very important. I see families that the women don't work. They become, sorry to say, they become crazy.
What if you have 6 kids?
Oh, that's another thing. There's a certain amount of work that needs to be done in the house, and there's certain things. And I have, Baruch Hashem, I have that amount of kids, right?
Oh, okay.
My wife still works.
So partially or full time?
Full time.
So you have a
She's
nanny?
still working now. Nanny? No.
So who takes?
No.
Do you have a cleaning lady?
No. But when she needs the help for a cleaning lady, if it's once a week or so on and so forth, I have no problem in shelling it out. That's not the issue. Here's the problem. The problem is when the nanny and the cleaning lady becomes priority.
What do you mean by priority?
Meaning it becomes a must.
No questions.
So how do
That's
you
a
guys
problem.
handle
Oh, how do we do it? It's called delegation. We train our kids in a young age to clean, to cook, to do certain household chores if it's putting the other kids to sleep.
How would you say is the best way to...
Well, one second, do you understand that? Most people, their daughters at the age of 9, 10, they still don't even know how to fry an egg or boil macaroni. Or, what's going on? Or, just put it on the table. Thank you. Or do basics. They don't know how to do basics. How come a 10-year-old girl doesn't know how to do that? How come a 10-year-old boy doesn't know how to do basic things if it's fix his bike or clean or stuff like that? How come? Why? Because we became a generation of invalids. Oh, don't tell him to do anything. Oh, don't tell her to do anything. Why? Because the mother went through a traumatic time with the father, and they're making their kids handicapped because they went through a certain experience that wasn't good for them. So instead of reigniting that it should be exciting for them, they say, oh, don't do it. How come a young couple, explain this to me, this doesn't make sense to me, you'll laugh, but it happens all the time. Young couple, maybe with 1 or 2 kids, and there's laundry that's piled up for 2 weeks. And after it gets washed, it's not folded for another 2 weeks. You call that normal? That is called retardation. That's not normal. I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't know where people are getting raised. That is not normal. I'm sorry.
So now do your laundry for 2 weeks straight?
To not have a functioning home. Rav Akiva, the Gemara brings a story how one of his Talmidim was sick. He went to his house and cleaned his house for him. Why? Because a clean house is an open mind. A clean house allows you to be healing. Now, I'm not throwing this responsibility only for the woman, but you can take certain teva, certain natures that you have, and say he also needs to have that. No, he doesn't have it. He's not going to have it. He's not going to have it. I'll give you an example. I love to cook, right? I can't say that about all men.
You like to cook?
I love to cook. I love it. I love to cook. It's one thing I do. Very good at. And I'm not going to go to my Talmud and say, you have to start cooking with your wife. He's going to say, yo, I don't even know how to cut an onion. What are you talking about cooking? What kind of nonsense is this? I can't say that to him. I could say the dishes because the tzaddikim used to do it. There's nothing to do. There is actually to do. There's a chokhmah how to wash dishes, just to let you know. We're not going to get into it right now. Sometimes you walk to people's houses, you look at their fork and spoons, you want to throw up. Like, who the heck washed these dishes? Like, what's going on over here? There's a chokhmah, there's a knowledge. You have to know how to hold the sponge properly, how to hold the fork, how to hold the... You're laughing. But I know young girls that want to get rid of the dishes because there's so many people always in their parents' house, and they do it like, they throw it, and suddenly you go, pots are still oily. It's disgusting. It's mamish disgusting. There's a chokhmah behind it too. How much soap to use, what kind of water for which things, oily, not oily, certain things get good with it. You have to learn these things. Unfortunately, people aren't learning them because it's not a priority anymore for us. What's a priority? You know what's a priority for us? To make money on it. What the heck are you gonna do with this money if you don't have a functioning home? Can I know? So you're gonna have a nanny, she's gonna take care of your kids. Your kids are gonna call her mommy. You're gonna have a cleaning lady, that your kids are gonna be invalid, they're not gonna be able to know how to pick up their own clothes. Their clothes are always gonna be on the floor. They're gonna need no shoes. They're not gonna be able to pick up their snacks and to put it in the hamper. They're gonna have someone that's gonna help cook. They're never gonna eat their mother's food, and the kids not gonna know how to cook. Then what's left? What's left? Why are you married? For what? Just to do the deed? It's cheaper to get a zona to do the deed. What do you need to get married for? Why you need to get married? I'm not advocating to do that. Look at it in a positive way. How do I work that? I should have a functioning home.
What about the first 2 kids?
I feel like there's a way to make it work, potentially.
Let's
say there's a nanny. Like, let's say it's
you can tell me whatever you want. I don't. Okay, go. I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak.
Because basically, I feel like there's a way to make it work with a nanny. Like maybe you could have the kids have their own responsibilities. You have to clean your room, have your own responsibilities. Nanny helps out because if you think about it, let's say the man's always working, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Which is also a problem. I also have to say that.
Not 24/7. Let's say they find time. They have a meal.
Okay. Father's always working. Mother's always occupied.
No, so basically, think about it like this.
I'm thinking about it.
Women, like, the most low value task is what? Is cooking and cleaning. Why? Because it's literally $10-15 an hour job. Because it's easily outsourced for $10-15 an hour. So now, if a woman's working, her time's only worth $10-15 an hour? Not money-wise. Let's say that money has a reason to do something with it, to make some impact, or maybe just to do testing, to prioritize other aspects. That's my ideal. My ideal is to have a nanny. Why? Because, I like to also to find someone that also wants to do something. Like, it's $10-15 an hour. It's what is this? You get my drift? Maybe it's a fantasy and you can pop.
Can I respond?
Yes, of course.
When you get married, you're looking at the marriage right now as a business expense.
As you should.
As an impact, what do you mean?
Listen.
Business.
No, it's not an impact. I'll tell you why. The amount of bonding and the amount of education the child learns when the mother shows a sense of responsibility by cooking and cleaning infuses a sense of responsibility for the child.
She won't do it till the monkey.
One second. When the mother shows she's active in the family, in the house, it teaches the child a sense of responsibility and due diligence for the house. When the mother finds a way to delegate to other people to do her responsibilities, automatically the child learns gets certain traits that are very improper for a household. That's one. Number 2, the amount, if the mother is normal, the amount of bonding you can do with your children in the time of cooking and cleaning is enormous. The reason why you don't see it that way is because you guys, unfortunately, it's everyone. I want to know, when before Shabbos comes in, right? Is it intense rush by you guys? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
I think it is.
That's it. You want to know? That's why everything I tell you right now you don't care about, because your cooking and cleaning is done in an intense, so you don't have time to bond. You know what you have time for? Let's go! Let's move! I have to go to the shower! Move the things! Guests are coming, people not coming!
That's right before Shabbat.
Why? Because you don't start on time.
I don't start on time.
What time does the cooking and cleaning start?
Start 4 hours before.
The day before. The delegation has to be done properly in order for things to be in enjoyment. You don't want your husband, guys, you have to understand. You talking about business expense? You know how much is to eat out every day?
Oh.
So your wife cooks, guys.
No, he's talking about delegating to a nanny to cook. You know what kind of
That's
pain?
true.
You know what kind of pain it is if your kid's first words are gonna say "mama" to the goya. I have another issue. I think goyim should not raise Jewish kids. I'm telling you that's black and white. That's black and white. That's just my opinion. I will never, me personally. No, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. My kids were raised pure and solely by a Jew. Pure and solely. I don't care who's listening to this, and I have a lot of goyim that watch. Pure solely, no. For me, it's a big X. Huge. So who did it? Whatever, we figured it out. Every family has to figure it out. But to come and to say, this is a low-paid job, let them do it. There's so many morals and so much bonding that can be done at that time. What happens if, let's say, you do get these nannies? The woman is invalid. The kid will never know how to cook. Do you understand that? You'll have a daughter that won't know how to have a functioning house. Or she'll learn later in her life. And her husband will not adjust to it. Men don't like that. Men want a woman that's a woman. Men don't need another man in the house. And I'm not talking this I'm not married 1 year. I've seen my father do shalom bayit for years, since a baby I was.
There's always that woman's breakdown.
There's nothing to understand. You know, Yoshua, you have a certain talent. You just never tapped into it. I think you should take some courses on communication. Now I tell you why. If you'll take the course, you'll never be good at it. That's the difference. He needs to take the course because he in nature has it. He just needs to know how to do it. I took a course on it. I took many courses on it, actually. I'm not joking with you. My Rebbe told me to take a course on ABCD, and I took it. And it helped me tremendously how to communicate and how to talk and how to delegate and so on and so forth. Some people, B'Teva, don't have it. Some people, B'Teva, have it. Now, why am I saying this? Because it's an abomination that a young couple that has maybe 1 or 2 kids, and the woman or even the man act like they're invalids. They're handicapped.
So Rob, I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you, because I think about this myself, when you have children, how is it that you have, let's say, like in my family, the kids were back to back every 2 years. And I would like want the same thing, like so it could all be close in age. But once you have, let's say, a 6-year-old and 3 little kids following after that, so 4 kids, and then you have another kid, and like how are you supposed to manage your oldest kid to
And work.
everything and work and take care of the infants and the babies and the crying and the immaturity of the 6 or 8-year-old to begin with?
Life forces you. Life forces you to be mature and to take care of everything. That's my answer. My 2 older kids are exactly 1 year apart. Exactly. They were born a year and a day apart. My younger kids are back to back. 1.5, 2 years apart. Bah, bah, bah. My middle kids. All my kids are, my oldest one's turning 11. They're all back to back. How do you do it? Train them. My oldest daughter, my wife trained her to put the young babies to sleep. My youngest daughter is 9 years old.
Okay,
Now, I'm not praising myself. The people that will watch and say, wow, how did you do it? No, don't praise me for something that's been happening for thousands of years. This is not a chokhmah. It's not. It's a chinuch. It's a way how to discipline. I heard a beautiful pshat this week. What does it mean that when you do a brit when we do a brit, what do we say? Lachniso b'brito shel Avraham Avinu. We're taking the kid forcefully and we're giving him a circumcision. The same way we do it to the kid for the brit, we do it for him in the marriage and the bar mitzvah and the marriage. We have a sickness in this generation. We think the kid needs to have some sense of approval. Do you want to clean your room? Do you want to clean your room? What kind of nonsense is this? Clean your room if not you're sleeping outside tonight. Or you're going to traumatize a child. Yes, I'd rather traumatize him now than when he gets married, him and his wife will go kill each other because everything is on a balagan stage. It's called knowing how to discipline. We forgot that because
you should also know your child. And
correct.
how it works.
Now, I know my daughters. I have a daughter that's never ever going to do certain things. Is never going to do certain things. This is not her. It's not her nature. She can't do it.
What's certain things? Like dishes or like optional?
She doesn't like to cook. Now, I'm not going to force her to cook. She's still very young. But she has to understand that she's going to get into it.
Right.
When she sees her older sister doing it with her mother and with her father and how they're enjoying it and how they're having a good time and how they're joking about it, she doesn't want to be left out.
But how about she doesn't have people around? Like, let's say my sister, right, she's like 9. No, she's 10. I want her to learn how to cook. She's like, everything's going to be done for her. My parents are going to cook. My mom, she's going to be a
Problem.
So what do I do, Rabbi?
You have to.
Only soup.
You have to. It's up to. It's the responsibility of your mother. It's your mother's responsibility in order for. Now, what's the problem with old school people? Everything is done by force. Everything is done with the koach. Everything is done with a certain oppression. That's why people don't want to do anything.
Yeah, but what's the balance of you forcing, not forcing, but you telling it to it, and then you say, okay, this is how you want it, and her actually won't do it. Yeah, at some point, kids are
It's okay to make mistakes. You're not listening.
It's okay to make mistakes?
Correct.
What does that mean?
What happens is, let's say a child is helping their mother to cook. She put too much salt on it. Well, what's the first reaction of the mother?
Food.
What's wrong with you? Open your eyes, you don't see it. Whoa. She's a kid. Relax. Chill out. We need everything to be in a perfection stage. That's a problem. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be perfect. And this is something I learned from my wife, actually, not from my mom, from my wife. She always used to tell me, when the kids are helping, let it be. Don't criticize. You like it, you don't like it, let it be. Slowly, they're going to see how we're doing it, and slowly, they're going to do it.
What happens when you have a full house of people and they're not doing it?
So, this is, when we have a lot of guests, there are certain things that we delegate for them, and certain key things that we don't. Certain things that we supervise over them, and certain things that we don't. Like certain meats and certain rice dishes, they can do themselves. This is not an issue. But a girl at the age of 10 that doesn't know how to make a sunny side or boil macaroni, that's obnoxious. That's obnoxious. No, this is shit. No, this is called, it's a bad reinforcement. It's called a responsibility, doesn't mean a payment. Should you pay your sister for her to clean her room?
I actually do pay.
But you're an idiot.
No, I do. I pay her to do my things.
That's something else. That's something else. But a person should know this is my responsibility. Now, I'm not old school, Rabbi Sai. This is not called being old school. The reason why youngsters don't like to hear this is because they remember their stress. They remember how they were pushed and forced and tugged. You gotta do it, you gotta forget about that. You can't allow that to cloud your judgment of how you're gonna raise your kids.
So Rabbi, I know this girl, she's 16 years old, she's the oldest of 6 kids. The difference between her mom and my mom, the oldest of 5, is that her mom is constantly telling her, like, you're responsible for all the little kids. You have to watch all of them. You have to see them, even if you want to go out because I'm out. Or you have all these responsibilities. In my house, my mom never, really forced me. But she doesn't want a lot of kids now. She looks at it
Correct. It's another big mistake.
And I look at it as like, wow, I want to have as many kids as I can. And I believe that it's because of the experience I had.
Correct. Yeah, there's your answer. You answered your question.
Exactly what you're saying right now is that it eventually becomes that way because if the child doesn't want to do it, no matter what you do, it's always forced. Unless you reward
So
them.
there are certain klalim there are certain things that they need to be taught. You gotta teach it to them. By doing that, you can't now substitute a mother, not substitute her responsibilities because now the daughter knows how to do it.
Right.
That's the difference. That's your question. A mother must know, regardless if the daughter wants to do it or doesn't want to do it, it's my responsibility. It's not my daughter's responsibility. The problem is when we shove the responsibility, our as parents' responsibility, down our kids' throat for them to say, okay. And that's when the hate comes of not wanting family, wanting to get married late, not wanting to cook or clean because of their experience.
So we're going to have to psychologically manipulate this to do what we want.
Who? Your kids?
Manipulate or influence?
I'm thinking, there's like a right way to do it, like let's say for my sister, I want to learn how to cook. How would I approach
You
it?
can't do that.
But
It's your parents' responsibility.
I know, but you said like when the mother cooks, the child sees it. For example, my mother, when she cooks on Shabbat and she cooks on the weekends and on major holidays. I'm saying throughout the week, she doesn't really have time to cook, so my sister doesn't see that. I'm saying we have a grandmother who cooks and she gives us food. But she doesn't see my mom cook only except for Shabbat.
Is your grandmother close to your sister?
No.
It's a problem.
No.
Bonding is very important. That answers your question. You want to have good kids? Have a good relationship with every single one of them. It's something we forgot. Every single day you got to spend time with your kids. Every single day.
We have 6, 7 kids, 9 kids
Wrong.
each one.
Wrong. Yes, you
What if
are.
they're out?
I'll be at 15.
I know a guy, he has 10 kids, he says
Every day
He
you
says-
have, each child is different. You have to spend time with every single. This generation forgot how to be parents, how to be normal people. We forgot. It's not a good thing. It's a very bad thing, actually. It's not a safe thing. And why am I saying this to such a young crowd? Is because very simple. If you guys are not gonna make the difference, the rate this generation is going, your kids will not have a Jewish family.
what?
A Jewish family.
Are you saying religious or Jewish?
Jewish.
I don't know about that.
They will not have a Jewish family. They'll have a tradition family. You know already.
Teach about kosher, where it's you, has nothing to do with them, or being a man, or like giving them responsibility.
No, what happens is there are certain things that come about with these responsibilities. You know what comes about with it? Why are we cooking for Shabbat? Because it's Shabbat.
Right.
Why are we getting ready for Yom Tov? Because it's Yom Tov. When you infuse those chores with the holidays and the Chagim, and you make it in an active and fun way, automatically you're still carrying out whatever needs to be done. But once you start canceling all these things out, certain things also start to get canceled out. That's what people are not understanding. And it's very important. It's extremely important. We don't realize this because, unfortunately, a lot of us were forced into certain things.
We said it's good. Clean your room. It's forced.
No. That's a response. Forced means I'm not going to do it anymore, and now it's your responsibility to do it. How she said, when a mother goes and says, I'm going out with my friends, please make sure to cook and clean it up. Whoa. I don't agree to that. I'm a very tough father, but to that I don't agree. Why? Because it's not her responsibility.
Bye-bye.
Is there a red flag?
Your children are not your babysitters.
This goes back to how does the wife work?
Oh, good question. Great question. There are certain responsibilities that come about. What does it say? My friend one time told me, whenever there isn't a person, you have to be that person. Now, what does that mean? Don't you put the kids and I'm going to stay in the couch. Mommy's going now to work. My wife works in the mikveh at night. Mommy's going to work. She's a bit busy. Can you please put the kids to sleep? And my daughter knows I have to do it. Why? Not because mommy's chilling and resting, but mommy's doing right now something that's more important that she needs to attend to. Now, when my wife has free time, she goes and takes care of all these chores. Do you understand the difference now? That's exactly what it means.
Well, Rabbi, I don't like disagree.
It's okay to disagree.
No, I'm saying I want you to hear my point. Saying,
Sure.
So in that case, right, let's say, mother has a couple kids, she works, she takes care of kids, and she needs a break, she wants to go out.
Amen. Agreed.
And then
She deserves it.
And she does deserve it. And
100%.
All the time it's her kids and her family growing up, doing this, and the least she's asked her, I'm going to go out, can you please watch the kids? How is it?
No one disagrees on that. You know where the selfishness comes? When it becomes a constant basis. A child will not care if the mother wants to enjoy or the father, even though you don't have to ask their permission. But elamai in the same time, you can't just dump all the responsibility on the children and say, I'm doing what I want to do.
So there's no such thing as like, this is your responsibility, that's it. Like,
Yes, when it pertains to them, if it's cleaning, cleaning the room, if it's certain things that need to be done.
Let's say like this, in my house, we have 4 kids, we split them out in 7 dish days, throughout the 7 days a week.
Yeah, I know, okay.
So
I don't know from you, I know from my wife's side of family.
yeah, so we do that. So it's my responsibility to do certain days, my brother and my sister's responsibility to do their days. That's responsibility. If it's
Correct.
not done, that they get punished or whatever.
Correct.
So
That's proper. I'm not, again, there are certain things that as a parent you have to reinforce. There needs to be some sense of reinforcement, right? But it shouldn't be now that the parent is totally reliant on that. Do you understand? A child should want to do, and my wife used to tell me how her and her sister had days, suddenly certain dishes would disappear, and then the next day would reappear on her day. Why? The sister would hide it, and suddenly she didn't want to do certain things. Suddenly, boom! Oh, we found that it's your day. You gotta wash the dishes. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like this is a chokmah. You need to be smart and intelligent to do stuff like that. Now, that's very important. Why am I saying this? Because people now that get married, they don't know how to do these things anymore. I'm not crazy. I get phone calls about this every single day. My wife doesn't cook, Rabbi. My wife doesn't clean. How much can I do? I know a guy, he called me, he said he does everything. He just doesn't cook. His wife asked him, can you start cooking?
That's my phone. That's it.
You know what I told him?
Wow.
You know what I told him? Don't ever in your life pick up a pot or pan. Ever. Ever. Why? You have to help. No. There's something called taking advantage. And sometimes you need, just need to get smacked.
I agree.
Sometimes, and this is what sometimes a man needs to put his foot down.
He's a little bit.
It's very important. It's very, very important. Again, I'm not a primitive person. I'm very modern. I like to enjoy my life, but I understand there's a sense of responsibility in duty. I will not be able to live normally if I marry off my son and daughter and not know that I trained them to their fullest capacity. I cannot live normally. I will not be able to sleep at night normally knowing that my daughter cannot cook or clean or provide for her husband whatever he needs. It will bother me. As a father, it will eat me alive. I will be very upset if my son gets married and he won't know how to be a man. You gotta be a man. Whatever that means, to each family different. You have to know how to take responsibility. You have to know how to be a go-getter. You have to know how to help. You have to know how to do everything. You must. This is life. It's gonna eat me alive. Some parents, it doesn't eat them alive. They're worried about how much money they're gonna make. Okay, you make the money. Now what? The house is a wreck.
Robert, can I ask another question?
Wait, he wanted to ask. Go ahead. It's obnoxious. You're laughing. Ask married men. Ask a whole bunch of married men. They sometimes say, well, "What did I do? Like, what did I do? Why I don't deserve this?" I don't deserve this. I want to have a normal life. It's very sad. It's extremely sad.
Wait, is he going to that because he did something wrong, or that just...
No, you're right now. You're being religious now on me. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's going through that because he didn't set the rules properly when he got married. He became a yes man.
So you gotta
Yes, you gotta set certain standards. Now, I'm not telling you not to come with a tapor with an axe to the house and say, "Hey, if you don't listen, you crack your head." No, I never said that. But there has to be set rules, right? Like a woman also has to set some rules. A man can't come home at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, "Oh, sitting with my friends." What the fuck? Do you want a bris? Do you want another bris?
You can't do that.
No, you're married. You are married. You are a married man. Do you understand? The problem is because we take the red pill. What's the red pill? Men can do whatever they want. They also have certain things that they also need a sense of respect. You understand? But at the same time, you gotta set boundaries. And if people don't do that in the beginning of the marriage, what happens? It's a jungle. Tarzan the monkey man. That's what happens in that marriage. And everyone's a free-for-all.
Rabbi, can I ask a question?
Wait, he had a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to add something to what you said, and then I'll ask a question. You were saying you shouldn't pick up you shouldn't start
Correct.
thinking. Why? There's this quote: "Life will give you what you tolerate." So if you tolerate that, it will continue. So I just want to add that. Second thing, in those situations, right?
Which one? We spoke about 15.
Let's say that situation. He's having trouble with his wife. He's not doing something, or vice versa. What would be a good way to criticize?
No, criticize.
Not criticize or influence. Yeah,
You can't criticize.
Not criticize. How would you bring it up and point it out?
Women are very good at manipulation. Let me explain something to you. You ready? You ready?
What did you say? Women are what?
Very good at manipulating.
This is what I need here.
Let me explain something to you. Especially the ones that are Bali Chubas. They know how to say the Torah and the rabbi whenever they want it. So my suggestion, this is why I always say it's very important to have a rabbi. Why? Because whenever things are not done properly, you address the issue to that same rabbi. Why? Because it's not only when she's having a bad day does she go and discuss certain issues about him. He should do the same thing. And there needs to be a common ground.
So the rabbi's the middle mediator?
Always. Why? And I'll explain to you why. Because you're not doing it, you're not arguing with her because you have something against her. Or vice versa. You're doing it because there's a certain issue that needs to be resolved. And she's not going to listen to you any other way. And you're not going to listen to her any other way. So how do you resolve it? You bring someone that's not nogea b'davar. What means nogea b'davar? He doesn't care. He's not in between. He wants what's good for the couple, for the family. He's not biased to one of the sides.
So they're local rabbi.
Whoever that may be. Or it doesn't make a difference.
What if he gets funded?
Can it be?
No, this is why you have to be careful. You need a guy that regardless of what he gets funded from any side, he's going to still say to the face, no or yes. Like, I don't care. Take your money back. I don't need you. Yes and no. It has to be a guy who has power, has baits in, as we call it. That's what it has to be. But they're very good at manipulation. Very good. This is the talent God created them.
Why?
Why? Because they were the first ones to eat from the tree of knowledge.
So why is because we were the first?
Because they were the first.
So they get a good
Men always have the capacity to
Now, how does a man, what is a man? This is the difference. Even though women are good in manipulation, men have to be smart enough to play it back on them. For example, you ready?
Rabbi, don't teach them these things.
Why? It's very important.
So,
Let me explain something to you. When a woman comes and says certain things, I'm not feeling well, I'm good, or, you know, you really did this, and they start whining. You have to learn first as a man how to have your cool always. Don't react. Don't react. Don't ever react. We're not here to react. Men that react are not men. Men that react are not men. You can never react. You gotta let it go.
It's just a over.
No. When you react, You know what that means? I was wrong. I'm now trying to defend myself. You can't react. You have to be logical. You have to be logical. Why is she complaining? You know why she's complaining? Something's bothering her.
But they don't say what.
You have to figure that out. That's called being a man.
Welcome to life, dude.
Yoshua, focus. You as a man have to figure out what's that bzich that's bothering her right now that she's taking out on you. Now, unfortunately, a lot of men don't have that chokhmah. They're dumb. So they start fighting back like a two-boy.
Not fighting, we care, so we're trying to help.
No, you don't care. You don't care. You don't care. You don't care.
No lies.
You right now want to be clean. Right? She comes to you, she starts blaming you and accusing you. You right now want to be clean. What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. You have to figure out what's that thing that's bothering you.
So can I ask
What is it? Maybe bad day at work. Maybe your mother said something. Maybe, example, right? Your mother is going to say something bad to your wife one day. Now you have two options. Either you're going to say, she's my mother, deal with it. You have to deal with it, I don't care. Or you're going to say, you're going to play the game. Don't worry, I understand where you're coming from. You're not wrong. We'll figure it out. It's going to be okay. When you're next to her, be smart. Listen to her. Do what she wants. Now, what did you just do? You validated she's upset. In the same time, you validated that you're on her side. And you convinced her that she should still do whatever she needs to do. Instead of saying, you're going to do, or the opposite. Don't listen to my mom. She's totally wacko. That's also a problem. You just disrespected. That, you know what you just did? You allowed now that your wife should always look at your mother like a piece of garbage.
Ooh, that's deep.
You can't do that ever in your life. Ever. And that's why I always say, when you have an issue with your spouse, you never whine to your parents about it. Ever. Why? Because now your parents, in their mind, who did I give my daughter or my son? No, shoot.
And then when you solve the problem, it's always going to be there.
Oh, he or she is like her father or mother. Look how they are the same. Never. Down. Whatever happens at home, stays at home. People don't use the brain. People don't have that chokhmah. Because people are stupid. Stupid. They rather be right than be happy. Sometimes being happy is being right. You have to just know how to play the game. You have to. Sorry. Oh, what are you teaching them? You're teaching them manipulation. No, I'm teaching them to have a good life. I'm teaching them how to use their head, that they shouldn't fight over stupidity.
The game never ends.
There's manipulation.
Game? If the game ends, you're a dead man. Life's boring.
There's manipulation. There's something serious.
Oh, once you know how to use it properly, you can influence her to do good. To do at your will. Now again, this point of this class is not for you now to start being a scientist to all these women. The point is to live a happy life. Now what does that mean? Her needs, the Rambam says her needs before your needs. Always. Physically, emotionally, and monetarily. Her needs before your needs. Don't ever forget that. What was your question?
We were talking about this before, but let's say you're about like how you have to help in the kitchen, you have certain responsibilities. Okay, to ask
She's
that
still with
question.
that. She's still telling me.
No, because I had that question from before that I was trying to ask. If you're in the kitchen and you have a family member that also has to be in the kitchen with you, whether it's your mom or your sister or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have your responsibilities and they have their responsibilities, but like when you're in the kitchen, you guys clash, and you always somehow get an argument, or you just can't work.
Like every single
How
time.
do you go about?
What's the clashing?
What's the clashing?
Yeah.
You work differently. One likes to be like
Messy.
yeah,
Let's say
like
one's more messy.
and one likes to be more like very efficient, very like to the
What is it to you? She's doing her job. You're doing your job.
yeah, but it gets in the way.
I have a solution.
What?
I have a solution.
What's your solution?
One person cooks, the other one cleans.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah.
No, they need help. They need more than one person to cook. One does the salads, and one does the main dishes, or one does this salad, and one. I know how it works.
Outsource.
Outsource.
You're saying the men has to do that?
I never said the man. We're not talking about men. We're talking about women. And a man should know how to do it either way.
Why?
Why? Because a man has to know how to do everything.
So this is the whole of the woman's domain?
You didn't listen to me. I didn't say you should start cooking. That's not what I said. I said a man has to know how to do everything. Do you understand? Do you understand the difference? Now, this is a personal, not personal based on you, but this is every person detail. I already know who you're talking about and what you're talking about, and I'll be very general. Try to work in a way that you guys are not clashing.
To me, it helps when I'm in the kitchen alone. I do my thing.
Correct.
Other people in the kitchen at their time, but it
You
doesn't
can't-
always happen that way.
No, it never happens that way.
No, it does. But sometimes it doesn't.
So you have to work on your midot. She's messy and you like it a certain way. You do your thing and that's it. That's it. It's
Because my concern is like if I get so frustrated or like annoyed at this, what's gonna happen one day when my husband has to
correct. So you have to shut your mouth. Congratulations. This is called getting married. No, this is what it is. Tomorrow your husband's gonna take off his socks and put it on the floor. You're gonna say, "Oh my God, it's so hard for you to pick it up and to put it in the hamper. What's wrong with you?" Or you're gonna shut your mouth and say, "It is what it is." I'm not gonna argue. No, because there are certain tevas of men. Men have certain natures.
Okay.
There's a
To
certain-
throw their socks in.
Whatever. I just gave that as
I know,
an
it's an example, but let's say.
So after a certain amount of time, a woman needs to know how to train him too. Can you just? Is it so difficult? Can you just please take it and put it in the hamper? Okay, I'm sorry. He'll take it. 1 day, 2 day, he'll forget. He'll do it. But slowly, he's gonna want to functionally do it. That's only if the relationship is good, but the relationship must be good.
It's all trial and error.
It's all trial and error. That's marriage. That's why when people say we have to date long in order to get to know the person, I laugh. I laugh. It's all nonsense. You're not gonna get to know anyone more if you date her for 10 months or if you date her for 3 months.
It's all like it.
You're not gonna know anything more. It's nonsense. It's a sheker. It's a lie. It's a lie. Marriage is working on your midot, working on your characteristic traits. John, you listening?
Yeah.
Marriage is working on your characteristic traits. That's what getting married is. If you're not ready to do that, you're not ready to get married. That's what it is. Who's gonna give in? Who's gonna talk? Who's gonna associate? Who's gonna grow? That's what it is. That's just what it is. It's partial like that. And
What if
funny.
you don't know how to love?
What?
What if a person just doesn't know how to love?
There are people like that.
What do you do about
It's very. Right now. I don't have a case, but I heard I was talking to one of my rebbeim. He has that case right now. Husband and wife. Yeah, religious, all that nonsense. The man doesn't know how to love. Doesn't know how to love.
Do you think that comes from the family? Like, if he didn't get love, so he doesn't know how to give
What
it?
do you mean by love? Show affection?
That's the answer.
He
never got it, so he doesn't know how to give it. And all the therapy in the world you go to will not fix this.
It won't.
So what is it, a lost case?
There's always hope. Come on.
I'm going to tell you what the answer is. The answer is that his wife has to be his therapist.
His wife has to what?
Be the therapist. The wife has to understand.
Oh.
The wife has to understand that right now my husband, he doesn't know how to do this. I am to teach him. How am I going to teach him? I'm going to be the one that's going to give the affection. Now, even though the woman wants it more than the man, sometimes this is a case that's out of the box. Sometimes the girl has to be the teacher in this case. And slowly, he's going to learn certain things and he's going to, at the end, do it. What's the problem in this case? The woman doesn't know how to give affection. She just wants to take it.
Right, if you're not affection,
Just
your
giving
wife
affection
will
is-
go way right.
Having physical intimacy is not affection.
No, giving affection.
Having physical intimacy is
not
not.
physical,
is-
just giving affection, yeah.
A hug, or whatever happens in people's houses, a one-on-one between husband and wife, whenever they're talking, or certain things that need to be done as husband and wife. It's not cruel, it's not sick, it's normal. People need to know how to have certain sense of affection. If a husband doesn't know how to give it, a wife has to teach her husband. And if a wife doesn't know, no, a husband has to know how to teach it.
Right, if you say
You know how you teach it? If you give it for a while and suddenly you stop, they start to crave it. And they're like, oh, what happened? Oh, you miss it? Oh yeah? See how it feels?
Please, but
Boom, suddenly the other person starts to work on it. Oh wow, he's not getting anything. Now I'm not getting anything, I'm not talking about physical relations, I'm talking about regular sweet talking, I'm talking about regular a touch, a hug, anything, a compliment. People don't know how to compliment their wives. Why, you look so beautiful today? She doesn't look beautiful. She doesn't look beautiful. Who you lying to? She just woke up. What kind of nonsense you're saying? What kind of nonsense? This is Hollywood. They wake up from the bed with makeup. Hi. What are you lying to? She's ugly right now. She looks like garbage right now. Still, you look so beautiful. No matter how you look now, always take you for who you are.
we look
He's looking at the bushah.
Stop with your nonsense. He's looking at one thing. He's not looking at Dusha. So he's becoming a Baba Sali over here.
Right, I have a question.
Dusha.
Right, this goes like a little bit deep. In that,
Wait, did you first understand what I just said?
No, you did not. You did not.
promise you I did. I think I understood more than you. But I'm not.
Do you understand? This is very, very important. People, Rabbi Sai, you have to understand this. The new generation is forgetting this. You want to know why they're forgetting it? Because they're growing up with nannies,
Look, I feel like we're the older
with
son.
cleaning ladies. They're growing up with people instead of their parents. That's why. Look at this. You see this? You see this? It's called normal, healthy. Normal and healthy. That's what it is. That's called living a life. When you involve your family into certain responsibilities. What was your question? You had a question?
No.
You had a question? Oh, Johnny.
It's a little deep. It's pretty deep. You guys can get blown away right now. Can you see that?
I'm blown away already.
You guys are joking right now. Wow.
I came back. Go ahead.
Hold on. So it's like, can you say that if a husband cannot show love or affection to his wife, he doesn't have that relationship, love with Hashem? Oh. Let me think about it. 2 seconds.
Ask the question better.
You know what I'm trying to ask?
Ask the question better.
Can you say that because that there's a void in the relationship with your wife for love, can there be the exact same void with the relationship with your father and mother?
Yes, a very beautiful question. And I'm gonna answer you. If a person doesn't know how to show love, it doesn't mean that he never shows it to his spouse. It just means it's very rare.
Whatever love is.
1 second. 1 second. I do believe. You sick? You need tissues?
No, I have allergies.
I do believe that a person could love Hashem if he doesn't know how to show affection, but his affection to God is very limited. It's an affection without emotion. I think loving Hashem has to only be with emotion. It's very interesting that I'm saying this because I always say the exact opposite about everything else. Loving Hashem should only be through an emotion. But it doesn't need to be through a physical emotion, it can be through a mental emotion, which I don't want to get into that right now. It's an extremely deep concept. To answer your question, you can, what? But it's the truth. You won't understand what I'm saying unless you learn Chassidus. Unless you don't learn mystical Torah, you won't understand anything that I just said right now. Anything.
That's why I paused.
Anything.
That's why.
There's a big difference between physical emotion and a mental emotion.
Can we get into that a little bit?
No, this is years of learning.
The
Come on, man. You
What
took
do
me
you mean
how
by
many?
years, right? What's that?
whole of
Break it
What does
down.
that mean? How can God command you to love? Did that question ever come to you? To love? You know what is to love? We have a commandment to love God? Can you even fathom such a thing? We don't even have that commandment to love our parents. To love God? How is that even possible? Now, it's very possible, but you have to think about it. Again, it's not a physical emotion, it's a mental emotion.
So, Rabbi, let's say you do something we're not emotional about.
No. Did I first answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Any other questions? No? Nothing? Oh, go, Johnny. Yeah. See, Johnny's on the road today. I'm flying away.
Right, like when you mental, what's it? How do you mental, right?
Mental connection.
Somebody's not, like by nature, she's not someone who's emotional, but when it comes to Hashem, like it's not that he doesn't feel emotion, like you just said, and mentally he knows and he feels it like inside, but he doesn't like feel it. I don't know how to explain it.
He doesn't show it.
Not that it's short.
Act on it.
If a person's not an emotional person, we're talking about physical emotion, not mental emotion.
You're talking about physical. He's not physical.
So it's not a contradiction that he can't be a mental emotion.
What if he's
Your
not
question
mental?
doesn't start even. Because we're talking about a mental emotion. You're trying to compare it to a physical emotion. Do you understand what I'm saying, or you guys are all lost? It's totally fine if you're lost. I don't.
I heard before that one of the reasons to get married is that your relationship with your spouse helps you with your relationship with Hashem.
101,000,000%. Now, what's the question?
It's a reflection.
There's no question.
Okay, so here's my answer to you on that comment. That will only work if you and your spouse want to have a Torah life. Because then what's the point? If you're not going to want a Torah life and your common denominator is God, then what is the connection for? Just desire? You don't need to get married for that. That's why the only thing that needs to be settled before you get married, what's the common denominator of the house? Is it godliness? Is it physicality? Is it being fake? What is the common denominator of the house? Once you know what the common denominator is, you can cut all the small talk. Oh, how are you? You do all this nonsense and dates you can cut. As long as you know one thing, what is the common denominator? Do we want? What kind of life do we want? Now don't get fooled. You could get fooled. You could get fooled. I know guys that got fooled, right? I know a lot of guys that got fooled. 1 second she's a Rebbitzin, the next second she's a Shiksa. 1 second he's a Rosh Yeshiva, and the next second he's the biggest Ganav Minuvad. Don't get fooled. Yeah, it's scary. It's so scary. You have no idea. You should write this Rosh Hashanah is coming. You should bidma'ot. Each of your tears should be this size. They're coming out of your eyes, and you shouldn't get fooled. You don't even know what's out there. You should like this. You should in Rosh Hashanah. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow, Rabbi said, you should be bidma'ot shlish tomorrow. It's not a joke. What? Dma'ot? Tears. You understand? It's not a joke, Rabbi Sai. I'm telling you now. It's very, very, very scary. Don't get manipulated. Because if you get manipulated, Habibi, your road is even longer than you think. It's a never-ending parallel road. What's your question?
Someone argued that you should date longer just to see if that person will slip up and see if
Stay out, you won't never see it.
No.
They're all actors.
So how would someone see
I don't think that's true. I think over time
Yeah,
comes
I think that's how you just give in.
it? You get more comfortable.
I give
Yeah,
it
you get more comfortable.
I agree.
You know what the problem? You know what the problem is? You're leaving, no?
No.
You know what the problem is? Shh. You know what the problem is? Expectations that come.
I know a lot of people that get engaged, after that they break it up. What do they see after the engagement that they didn't see before?
No, they usually break up because the families get into clashing after engagement. But that's another topic at another time. I'm answering your question. Expectations become very bad then. Because the longer you date, the longer you build bad habits together. I don't like this, where this is going. Sit back over here. Sit back over here so I can talk normally.
I'm sure we're talking about what you said.
Yeah, so we really talking
No. I need quiet. I cannot. Bad habits happen. You know how many guys called me after they got married? They were dating for a year. Oh, my wife wants me to spend so much time with her. I said, of course, because when you were dating, every single minute that you had free, you were with her. You didn't even go to work. You just were spending time with her. That's not normal. I'm sorry. What kind of nonsense is that? Well, whoa, where is that written anywhere? Why do you do that? You want to see her? Get married. No, you're saying no, don't get married?
No, I'm saying like,
Oh, get married. If that's what it is, that's it. What's this idioticness, this level of stupidity? For what? You're not going to see anything different.
Or sometimes people get married because of funds, money, this, that.
Fun?
Money.
Funds? Why? Because they're rich?
No, like some
Because
people
they
don't
don't
have.
have funds.
Yeah, they don't have funds. So I'm saying that's what they start.
or
But
not.
he doesn't have that.
money.
So why do you even start dating?
No.
Why do you start
Oh, no,
dating?
You like the girl. He's gay. Like you like the girl. We started dating. You like to fall in love with the girl. That's why you started
So
dating.
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? If I can't afford a Beamer and I get to rent that, and I went to get a lease for a Beamer, am I an idiot or not?
But dating is not afford yet. You don't need to afford much of dating.
I ask you a question.
I understand your question.
Am I an idiot? Yes or no?
No.
You're not an idiot?
You say you're not dating.
No, you're not playing games. Now you're doing manipulation. I caught you again. Hello. Listen, I do this for a living. Listen, if I right now get a Beamer as a lease for how much is it now? 1,500 a month?
Depends which
Yeah,
one.
you could go up to like 1,500.
1,500, and I don't have this money to pay every month, and I signed the lease. Am I smart or stupid?
Okay, man, let's do this.
If I'm starting to date, but I don't have money to get married, why am I dating?
I control yourself.
Because Hashem will take
You
care
can't
of it.
control yourself? That's not a reason why to go out and date. You go out to date to get married, not because you can't control yourself. It's very simple. Now, what's my solution for you? What's my solution for you? Get a job. Very, very simple solution. Now, what's the problem? Our expectations of how much we really need to make in order to live is our problem. Everyone, that even if you work in McDonald's from the morning till the night, you can live perfectly fine with for the rest of your life.
No, it's no.
Yes. What's our problem? We want to live luxurious. Hey, listen, you want to live luxurious. For what? Who are you impressing? Another common denominator the man and wife, the guy and girl need to have. It's okay if we struggle. It's perfectly fine. We'll get there. We'll get where we need to get. But if the girl or the guy is nudging, I want a new car. My friends have it. I want a new Montclair. I want a oh, my friends have it. My friends have it. That's not marriage. That's a competition. And if you get stuck in a competition, you will not have a successful marriage. That's the difference. But if you understand, listen, we have what we have, we're going to work together, we're going to save, we're going to make, we're going to grow, we'll be fine. But we have to learn how to rely on each other. That means you bring up these conversations on the table to make, I'm not cheap, and you're not here to spend. I understand you have certain desires and I have certain desires, but we have to work together in order to get there. Don't get married, look rich, act rich, but be broke. It's not a chokhmah. And even if you do have the money, don't spend it on that. You just got married. What are you doing? How are you disciplining? How you functioning your whole house in the beginning? Like a clown house. Oh, you want it? Sure, I'll buy it for you, baby. You got it. Stupid. It's so nonsense. You know why? There'll be no sense of appreciation.
But it doesn't say to like spoil your wife.
It doesn't say anywhere to spoil her. Where does it say that? Spoiler? What do you mean spoiling?
No, people with something like if you spoil your wife, you're gonna be happy.
Wrong! Nonsense! Nonsense! Spoiling your wife is gonna make you happy?
Not happy.
Since when? What kind of crap is this?
I said the wrong word. I said if you spoil your wife and give her everything.
Ask any married man that spoils his wife 24/7. He's not happy.
Not happy.
He's not. You want to know why he's not happy?
It's not the word.
Because she becomes too needy. You don't want
They
that.
mean treat you.
What's
right.
wrong with men these days? They're not men anymore. Spoil. Well, what means to spoil? Well, what does that mean for you?
I'll tell you. Okay?
Tell me. Go ahead. Tell me. Tell me.
Take care of things.
Unbelievable, these
The
men
man's
these
giver,
days.
right?
Shem Yirachel.
I said the wrong word. I said the wrong word.
I wish your dad would be here. Yeah?
I think it's treat the girl.
Yeah?
So, what I mean, right?
What do you mean? Tell me. What's your role? What do you mean?
You're thinking it from a perspective of spoiling her physically wise, which I'm talking about too, but I'll tell you a different perspective, right? Let's say, right, couple was dead broke. Wife stood by the husband all the way because of her, he became successful. Now,
Correct.
to repay the favor, he spoils her with whatever want, any physicality needs, take care of her, because again, she's still fine, he spoils her whatever.
Wrong.
You doing that,
Wrong.
you're gonna make you more successful.
Wrong.
You're a giver.
Wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Sorry.
Right.
Wrong. Very wrong.
I think
Very wrong. Now, I'm an advocate of going on vacation every year. Once or twice. I believe in that. But to places that you can afford. But I don't believe now that since you're starting to make money, you have to spend it all on crap.
I'm not saying spend all you don't have. That's a different story. I'm saying you have.
Even the money you have. Even the money you... Again, I'm not a cheap person. Even the money you have, who gave you the right to spend it on nonsense? Do you have to give your wife gifts and stuff like that? 100,000,000%. No one's disagreeing on that. But to buy things that are unsensible, it's not only about tashchit on money. You're teaching bad habits to your wife and to your kids. Do you not understand what you do when you do this to your spouse? You create needy girls. Your daughter will be like that.
But that's if you have that.
No, even if you don't.
If a couple is non-religious, you do that, yeah.
No, I think with religion. I didn't talk anything about religion.
I'm talking about.
I'm not forgetting about religion
If the woman
now.
has the values. She has those values in the home.
I do agree that if a woman is this is first of all Asher Gadaev, the one that stands with the husband on thick or thin, regardless of what happens, or they're gonna make it happen. She's a tzaddiket in my eyes. But I want you to know something. Most girls that are like that will not care for you to spoil her.
That's more because you support her.
She's not gonna want it.
Honestly, if she said it to me, I'd be for more.
She's not. You don't want to know why she's not gonna want it? Because she understands struggle. Because she struggled with you. You don't understand. The girls that are very needy like that, those are the girls that don't understand struggle.
I'll talk about the first one you're talking about, the one that I don't want. No matter what you give me, that's not what I want. But that's
You want to know? I'm gonna tell you something. You can agree with me or not. I don't really care, but I know this out of experience. You ready? You ready? You ready to hear? You want to really spoil her? Spend time with her.
I agree with you, Rabbi.
Oh, you heard that?
Shh.
Yeah.
You heard what I told you? You know why people spoil with richness and money and cars? They're trying to substitute it for something else. And that's called affection. You really want a good life? Learn when to close your phone and to spend that half an hour, 45 minutes every day with your wife. Learn to go places with her that doesn't need to be too lavish, but it has to do with you and I. Women don't want a lot. Men just make it too complicated. They don't think. Men think that the woman wants something grandiose. No, they don't really. And if they do, they're gold diggers. Throw them straight from the window. From the window.
But you don't know, you don't say marriage.
You could know. Okay, then maybe you don't know. Some men already, some men can already chop right away. You understand? Ask any normal girl. She'll tell you. The truth is, I just want his company. That's what I really want. You got a good one. You're lucky. I'm not joking with you. I'm not joking with you. I can see through people. You got a good one. You got to thank Hashem every day. I'm not saying that he's not good. Don't get too excited here, but I'm just saying. No, it's not a joke. It's really not a joke. You gotta know exactly, prioritize what needs to be prioritized.
Regarding going back to the whole thing of people lying about their spiritual goal just to get married, and then you find out afterwards.
It's very sad.
How does someone basically like avoid that, or I guess figure out before they get married, in terms of like if they're lying about their spiritual goal?
Who are their friends? You'd be surprised what you can learn from your circle of friends. You can be extremely shocked what you learn from your circle of friends.
That's not like 100%.
It's not also 100%, but you can see a lot through the friend group. A lot. Major amount.
I would just say this person just said I have friends that I'm really hanging out with my people.
Maybe she's right. You have to figure it out. 007 style. What can I tell you? Again, I'm not telling you to be a stock or anything. You're getting married. So baby, if you're getting married, you don't want to end up in the shambles. I'll be straightforward. You don't want to be in the shambles. It gets bad. It gets very bad when you're stuck. When you get fooled. When you get fooled. It's a problem. Any other questions? Good, Johnny, I answered everything for today? Yeah? You good? Okay, I'm going to finish with this. No, leave it. I'm going to finish with this. We're going into, tomorrow is Rosh Hashanah, beginning of the year. My personal advice to everyone is take advantage. You have time to hang out with your friends in Sukkot time. Daven. Read Tehillim. You want to get married this year? Hopefully. Is that Hashem, right? Daven that it should be well. Don't think because it's good now, everything, no. You need Siyata Dishmaya from Shamayim. It's always those bumpy roads. Daven. You guys want to get married? You want to get married this year? You do, right? I know you do. Everyone really wants to. You gotta daven for it. You gotta daven for it. It's not a joke. You gotta do everything to your ability, whatever you could, daven. You got to. Don't be lazy. Find yourself a corner. That's my corner. I daven over there next to the cereal boxes. That's my corner. Me and I have another guy, Levi Katani. He's my charuta when we daven together. He sits here. I sit to the wall and he sits right next to me. This is my stender. I take my corner. I don't know anything. I'm just me. I'm davening. The chazan's fast. The chazan's slow. Word for word. I'm reading. I'm davening. And I continue going. If they set the table, you're busy, no problem. Don't forget to go to shul to daven. Go early. Go after. Go here. I gotta go pray. Mama, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Come with me. We'll set up the table. When you get home, we'll do it very fast. Daven. For your benefit.
Would you say that we should prioritize davening like the and all that stuff over learning?
Yes. Yes, 101%. As much as Tehillim you can say it. There's a time for learning and there's a time for prayer. Rosh Hashanah is a time for prayer, not a time for learning. Now, I'm not telling you, you're done reading Tehillim, three books already, and you want to learn something. Learn. I know I'm gonna learn before davening, in order to get me into the flow of davening. But at the same time, you gotta pray.
Rabbi, have you had the will to get over Shacharit? I don't know very much about Shacharit.
You think I don't have a hard time? Are you foolish?
No, like, I know you have, I mean, you have a hard time, but I'm saying, how do you have that will? Like, I know Hashem does everything for me, but like, when I'm in my bed and it's,
Hashem's
when
way.
my blankets are on me, I just cannot.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. I know you're right, I'm gonna be like, oh, ask you.
No. Who's your best friend? Who's your best friend? Don't look at him. Let him answer. Who's your best friend? No, seriously. It doesn't need to be him. Who's your best friend? You don't want to answer? I won't answer. Don't answer. Let's say it's 3 a.m. He gives you a call and says, I really need your help. My car broke down. I need your help. Can you come? How fast are you going to go and help him?
Right away.
Why? Because he needs you, right?
Yeah.
You want to hear something? Hashem needs you to pray.
Yeah, but this is
You're not listening. You're not listening.
It's
You're not listening. No,
Like,
it is physical. Hashem actually needs you. He needs you to daven. Because that's why He created you. He created you because He needs you to do the Torah mitzvot. So you're here not as an obligatory because God is my master and I'm His slave. But no, God is my master and I'm His worker.
It's incredibly difficult to have a bond
Here,
that
very
transcends,
there's
that
very
transcends, you know what I'm saying? If I have a best friend, and this actually happened to me, I had a flat tire. At 1 a.m. I called my 2 closest friends. Within 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, they were there.
Okay.
And they helped me fix the car.
Okay.
But that's because they know in an instant I would do the exact same thing.
Okay.
Meaning the
Ask your question.
The
You're
bond
not-
we have transcends just a physical aspect of spending time with each other.
And your bond with God isn't?
Definitely not as strong.
Why?
I don't know.
I'll
That's
tell
the
you
question
why.
I want to ask.
Because you're not prioritizing God. Because you don't have a relationship with God. You have a relationship with your friends, right? You bond, you talk, you discuss, right?
Yes.
You have to do the same thing with God.
However, connectivity isn't physical. I can't speak to him and get an answer. Maybe I'm expecting too much.
It's not about physical. You know what it's about? You know what is it about? It's about knowing that He's listening. Because if you don't know that He's listening, then you're not davening with Him. You're doing it out of habit, not out of responsibility.
Oh, no, I have the responsibility.
No. That's not what I said. I know you have the responsibility to do it, but you don't have the responsibility of doing it. It's 2 different things. One's time-based and one's emotion-based. You have the responsibility of the time-based, but you don't have the responsibility of the emotion-based. The emotion-based is, I'm not doing it just to do it. I'm doing it because I have a certain connection. The reason why you're friends and you have that is because you spend that bonding time. You don't spend it with God, that's why you feel it that way. But I daven, but you don't daven to have the bond. You daven because you're obligatory. You do it in a sense of, I'm a slave, not in a sense of, I'm a worker.
What happens if I don't want it?
You don't want the bond with God?
Let's say.
Let's say? Then you're not, then you're gonna be empty. You're gonna live in a life like a slave. Not empty in a sense of your life is in shambles. Empty in a sense that I have no purpose. I have no connection with my master.
I do want it. No.
I'm just saying in general because he was thinking now, but let's say you have success of other things, then you're not empty. You have this, you have. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a relationship with God. You'll be empty of purpose.
That makes sense.
Why? Because you don't have that connection with your Creator. Now, I'm telling you this. This is also for you, very important. I'm telling you this because I've been there. I was there. And until I didn't learn how to have that connection with my master, I was empty. I felt slave-like. I'm doing it.
What did you learn?
Once
What type
again,
of books?
How did you develop that emotional connection?
Exactly.
I started to want to know who's my creator. I started to want to understand what is my job? What am I doing here? It's not only about what the halacha and Gemara says. That's our responsibility as a doer, but our responsibility as a wanting to do, that was a whole different subject. Hasidus, Kabbalah, and so on and so forth. Musar. It's a whole different tangent. Then you ask me, now I understand why you're so fanatic. I'm fanatic because I understand that I'm not here just to do. I'm here because I have a responsibility. I have an obligation because I have a responsibility. I'm not here just to do. I'm here to fix, to create. Now, what's the problem? What's the problem? This takes a lot of work.
Not everyone wants to invest for it.
Are you willing to wake up 2.5 hours before davening every single day to learn?
I can barely get up for davening.
I can get it 5 minutes before.
How do you
You know, you're not listening.
How do you
Wait,
Are you willing to wake up 2.5 hours before davening to learn?
As of now, no.
No, you're
That
not.
actually depends what I'm with.
Then you're not willing. You're not willing to connect to God.
Depends what I'm with.
I remember at the age of 16, my Rebbe, when I was in camp. I started when I was in camp. My Rebbe would come bring negavasser to my bed to wash my hands, and I would learn with him for 2.5 hours every. And I went to a kiruv camp. Every single day in the summer, he would wake me up. Rabbi Klein and I, the goose and the chickens in the camp. We would sit on the bench. I still have pictures. I posted it I think couple weeks ago. I posted on my status. I had a small little beard. I had my talit katan out. 2.5 hours every day. I started learning with him. That was my introduction to learning Hasidut. And then,
What time did you get up?
pashol everything. I was waking up when I think it was like 6:30 in the morning.
What's the first Hasidus book you got?
What's the first Hasidic book I read? The truth is, it wasn't. Why is that relevant?
Yeah, well,
I'm curious.
are you trying to ask?
Nitivot Shalom was the first.
Oh, wow.
That was the first, but I had a problem with Nitivot Shalom.
That's an interesting one.
You want to know why?
I
It
never
was an inspirational sefer. It wasn't a doing sefer. It
So
didn't.
It's motivation.
Yeah, it didn't teach me how to do it. It taught me the fluff. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like fluff. I want to know how to. Tell me the steps. What am I supposed to think about when I daven? How am I supposed to be machnea my yitzhara to my yitzhara tov? That's what I wanted to know. And I only found out in Chabad Hasidus, a little bit of Breslev, Oyev Shalom, the old ones from the Talmidi of the Baal Shem Tov Sfarim, the Shemin Maor, the Morei Einayim, told us Yosef Yitzchak, those old ones. That's how I got it. Now, I'm pure Sephardi, but my mindset is totally different. Why? Because I was willing, and every day, every Shabbat, I'm in the shul, I give a shiur 2 hours before Shacharit. 2 hours before Shacharit. That's already me going to the mikveh, saying Brachot HaShachar, having a cup of coffee, all these things before.
Sleep. 2 hours, 3 hours?
I sleep when I die. You know what that means?
I love sleep.
I know. I also love sleep. But you gotta, what's the point of living? Imagine half of your life you put in your bed.
That's crazy. Think about
But think about it, it's like the fuel, right? If I know I'm sleeping a lot, right? But I'm sleeping a lot, so I have the extra 16 hours hard.
Wrong.
If you don't sleep a lot, it's even worse. It's worse.
Wrong.
I want you to sleep every day.
It's worse.
The Rambam says 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah, but those 8 hours sleep is
So how much?
6 to 8. 6 to 8.
And
6
how
to 8 hours.
much do you do?
Yeah, how much
I'm not gonna lie, I sleep for 6 hours.
Okay.
I think it's perfect. 6.5, 7 hours.
No, I can't.
Seven
I
hours?
sleep for it's between 4 to 6 hours. Between 4 to 6. Not over, not higher than 6.
What about Shabbos?
Between 4 to 6. And Shabbat? Also between 4 to 6.
Really? Not really?
I take a nap on Shabbos Kodesh.
Or what, an hour or like 3 hours?
It depends how much l'chaim I had before. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's a great answer.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a liar. I like to indulge. I like to enjoy. I like to drink. I like to eat. I'm not gonna lie. Depends on my l'chaims before, especially in this shul. Each l'chaim, in every shul they do this much. This shul, one l'chaim is literally this big. So,
Very good question.
right? He remembers. He knows somewhat.
That's Simchat Torah.
This no. They don't have expensive alcohol. For alcoholics, it's not valuable, the alcohol, as long as it's alcohol. You understand the difference? So they'll drink a cup this big, but it can be kerosene. They'll still enjoy it. But you get a guy that sips, he wants the flavor. Why? The guys that really want to drink, they're like, what's this taste you're doing? Sure, 1, 2, before you know the. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's a very bad thing. We should talk about alcohol a different time. It's a very bad thing. I'm gonna finish. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I know everyone's
One last thing.
homework.
One last thing. What's a hack to what intention should we be praying with during Rosh Hashanah? I feel like there's been moments where
We should be praying on Rosh Hashanah as it says in Musaf. We're anointing Hashem as our king and as our leader, and we want him to lead, and his light should shine on Klal Yisrael. And we have such a pain that he doesn't have his crown because the Beit HaMikdash is not built. We pray that the Beit HaMikdash should be built not because of anything, but because we want his presence to be in the Beit HaMikdash.
Do we pray for things on Rosh Hashanah? We ask for
You can pray for anything, but the most important thing is, and I am Mamlich Hashem as my king. God is my king.
We say that a lot though during
Rosh Hashanah, the whole Musaf.
But I have a serious question.
Alright,
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's the question? So does that answer your question? Very important. The Musaf is very important.
Can you go a little deeper? Like, let's say someone wants a certain thing. Like, well, what intention should he? I mean, yeah.
You should pray for it. If he wants it, you should
During
pray
which
for it.
part of the
Like,
prayer?
what mindset? Like, what
Which part's that?
I guess I
I
can
want
hear
to Rosh
what
Hashanah, the mindset of thanking Hashem before everything I have, and asking for things I would need, or
yeah,
requesting
yearning,
things.
gratitude, or like
Well, what should I do first?
exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
First, you should do tshuva.
On what? Everything? I've
Everything.
done a lot.
Everything.
Trust me.
You're going into Rosh Hashanah doing tshuva, first of all. Second of all, of course, gratitude. Third of all, how much you love and fear him. Fourth, how you're in awe of his presence, and you want his presence to always be in awe. And fifth, you pray for your wishes. Go ahead.
Wait, can you repeat that?
No,
You're gonna. When are you gonna post it?
I don't know. Go.
Rabbi, what?
Okay, next.
Oh, no, I got a question.
He has a question too, that's why.
If you forget during one of the Amidas, because there's things you have to add in every single Amida during the 10 days. If you forget one of them, what do you do?
Depends which one you forget.
Do you have to redo the whole Amida?
Depends which one you forget.
There was one at the beginning, one at the end.
There's 5 things you have to
The
add.
Melech HaKadosh, you have to be certain.
There's certain letters, certain words, and then
Melech
certain
HaKadosh and Melech HaMishpat, you'll have to go back. But there is Zocheinu L'Chaim, and Kotfeinu Sefer Chaim, don't forget this. According to the Ari, that's very important. That's when you draw down and do the Nesirah. We're not going to talk about this, this is very time consuming, where we do a premortal surgery on Adam Rishon. We're not going to get into that. Yes, in Judaism, it's the light is around. Igul. Why? What was comes back every year. That's why we have the Chagim. No. You're talking about something else.
The energy.
The energy is round, not straight. La'atid lavod, the energy will be straight. That means every single day will be something totally different. Now it's totally different, but it's reliving what was. We're living in the past and the future and the present at the same time. Yes, we're in a cycle. What's your question? Last question of the night?
Rabbi, how about if a person does certain things throughout like the week or throughout the day that causes him to feel like Hashem not necessarily doesn't want him to pray, but like it's done that.
That's how you feel, not how people feel. You're judging your responsibility based on your childish feeling.
No, I wouldn't say it's not a thing. It's like a person does certain things that you know Hashem doesn't want you to do, and you do them throughout the week. And then like, I'm saying, I don't want to get specific to my situation, but I'm saying...
Let's say a person weighs seed, right?
Perfect example.
Now he has to go pray mincha. There's a minyan in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Should he pray mincha or not?
Say it again?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. What's the question? Oh, but I just sinned. Maybe God doesn't want me there.
Yeah, of course you should pray. What is one of them do with the other?
Exactly.
Okay, let's say a person...
You did an Aveira.
Okay, let's say a person, let's say he kills people, right? God forbid, I would not give the joke as a disclaimer. Let's say he kills people, right? Randomly kills
He's a
people.
rotzeyah.
And then he wakes up in the morning and says, oh, why should I go to Shachar? You know what I just did? Why would I want to...
That's Satan wants you to think.
You still gotta go pray. Let's say you're a ganav. I'll say your example. Let's say you're a thief. You're a thief. You steal from people, and you're happy you steal from them because that's the way you make money. You're a thief. Should you go still and pray to Hashem?
Again, obviously...
Yes or no? Of course, that's it. Now, oh, how come I feel that way? Because you know you're doing something wrong. But it doesn't mean now. It doesn't mean now you should stop doing your responsibilities.
It's fake in a way, though. I don't think.
No, it's not fake. Because deep down,
You think Hashem would forgive, or like, she's like, oh,
Hashem forgives everybody.
Yeah. Again.
So stop stealing.
I don't know what's stealing.
No, I'm just saying in general.
I'm saying in general.
In general. So stop doing that bad thing.
Even when you do something with a girl, right? You do something with a girl,
Correct.
That, go to Shacharit, and then like, I just don't think happened. You know, so do the next day.
Yeah, you sinned, you fell, and you gotta go
I
back to
don't
it.
want to be fake myself.
So stop doing it.
Don't stop doing the good, stop doing the bad. It's easy for me to say, but I'm saying obviously
Stop doing it.
It's harder in the moment.
No, stop doing it. That's it.
It's hard to show her. So,
He's not strong. We allow him to be strong.
yeah, then
Our job is not to kill our Yetzer Hara. Our job is to make our Yetzer Hara into our Yetzer Hara Tov.
It's very funny that you just said that.
You heard what I just told you?
I just heard that.
We have a wrong mindset. We grew up as Jews as a very different mindset. We grew up very Christian mindset. The devil. We gotta kill the devil. There is no devil. He's not holding no pitchfork. It's nonsense. Your Yetzer Hara, which is your Nefesh Elokit, Behemit, you have to turn him into godliness.
Yeah. Really a problem is really supposed to make better.
Yeah, but what does Hashem do? What does Hashem feel? When you go up there and you do something wrong, you go up there.
What does Hashem feel?
Not feel, like whatever that means.
Yeah, because you think God's gonna punish us. God's gonna punish us. It means his feelings.
No.
So it's not reverse.
Can I explain to you?
Of course.
Can I explain to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're getting, and I like this conversation, now we're getting personal. You ready?
First, look.
To say God has feelings is kfira. It's kfira. It's not believing in God.
Oh, you mean scared of punishment is fear?
That's not what I said.
What do you say?
I said when a person, take off your ear thing, you'll hear.
Fine.
Take it off, you'll hear. When a person says God has feelings, he's a kofir bi'ikar. He doesn't believe.
That was just said.
No.
You said no.
So how is there punishment?
Wait. So what's this whole deen of punishment and reward? Right? Punishment and reward is also, we look at it in a very Christian way. Punishment and reward is not because I didn't do and now he's upset at me. Punishment and reward is I didn't do and I blemished because I didn't do something that I needed to do. What does the Gemara say? The second you're not needed in this world, what happens to you?
Die.
Why?
You fulfill your task.
Maybe even if you didn't fulfill it.
Either you fulfilled it or you.
Whatever the case is, once you're not needed, what does that word mean? Needed. Why are we needed? Why are we needed? We're needed because God created this world for you to do certain things that no one else can do. So your punishment is really not a punishment. You know what it is? It's a consequence. There's a big difference between punishment and consequence.
But then does
The word punishment means I'm cruel and I want you to be my slave, so I'm punishing you. The word consequence means that you had a certain responsibility because you have a certain value in you and you didn't do it, so you punished yourself. So we don't look at it properly. We look at, that's why don't I scream sneoot and I scream all these things? You know why I do it? Not because God doesn't need anything from us. He's endless. But the way He created the world, He created it in a way that He made it seem that He needs something from us. Quote unquote seem, whatever that means. We'll have to talk about that at a different time. So we're not getting punished. We have a responsibility. See how valuable you are to God?
I want to be needed, but I want to stay.
You are needed.
That's why you're alive.
That's why you're here.
But isn't there a correlation?
If you wouldn't be needed, you would be dead.
Already.
That's exactly my point. Get the book.
I have a question on what you just said. How about if somebody dies?
Wait, you had a question? Go.
So Rebbe, is If somebody dies, that means they completed their mission. What's the side?
It means he's not needed anymore. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily doesn't mean his
That's
mission
my
is
question.
done. It just means he is not needed.
Meaning what? Your mission is completed.
Someone else replaced
Meaning
him.
What does that mean? Somebody's not needed? Everyone has.
That means he can't do any change anymore.
You can always change. It's over here.
That's not. No. You have a limited time, my friend.
You're saying there's for now. Isn't that contradicting what you've been talking?
No, I was not. I'm not contradicting anything. No.
What does that mean?
Maybe you have a wrong way of thinking.
What do you mean? You think a person can't change?
That's not what I said. Everyone has a certain lifespan, right? Because I can change doesn't mean I can live longer.
Not live long, you know what I'm saying? If a person, let's say, dies at 45, right?
Correct.
That's a fairly long age. Does that mean he completed his mission?
No, that means his time expired.
But isn't a person?
Do you think everyone that dies at a certain age is because they finished their mission?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No,
How do we know? How do we know?
No, we don't know because we see wicked people that die very old and they never did tshuva and they never did anything grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that they were meant to do.
So God sees, okay, there's no way he's going to complete his mission, let's take him out of here.
No, his time was over. His time is up.
But again, if it's at an older age, he's going to complete his mission, I understand that. But I'm saying if a person passes away young,
1 year. Like there's a baby, gets born.
no, not even that. I'm saying maybe the baby, I know the baby, I'm saying the person is young, he dies. Does that mean he completed his mission?
No, it means he was created for that amount of time.
To do something.
Whatever he had to do.
So a baby comes here and then when it dies right after 2
For
years.
little kids, it's a bit different
Oh, okay.
because they have no sense of responsibility. But let's say someone's 35,
Yeah.
35 is different. He's talking about infants now. That's a totally
Yeah,
different.
no, I know.
That's two different things. Got it? Go ahead. Last question of the night. I've been saying that for the past hour.
My question was similar to him.
Yeah? You got answered?
Yes.
Are we done?
Done.
Okay, my rabbi side. Shana Tova to God, Mar Chatimah Tova. Please don't forget to daven. Daven for me as well. Daven for you. Please be selfish. Be selfish. What does that mean? Just daven. Don't care about eating. Don't care about going out. Daven, pray. It's Rosh Hashanah. Daven and pray. Learn. Daven and pray. Daven and pray. Learn things that give you hitlavut to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Have a good night.